Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for joining and giving us your precious time and for Alternative Mental Wellness Association. So, I will start the conversation with the current situation as declared by WHO that 1 in 5 will face some or the other mental challenges. They have declared mental pandemic in India. The rates of already common conditions like depression and anxiety went up more than 25% in the first year of pandemic, adding to nearly a billion people facing challenges. More than 164,000 Indians have committed suicide last year. And the national suicide rate has come out to be 12, calculated as per 100,000 or per lakh. Moreover, the researchers estimate that the poor mental health amongst employees has costed Indian employers around US billion yearly. Looking at these situations, and you have a vast experience serving the country, you have fought wars. What are the mental health challenges for the armed forces?
Thank you so much, Shalini, for giving me an opportunity to come on your show and your organization and to contribute my little bit, whatever I can. Yes, you have quoted some figures of suicides, the present situation that the world is facing, humanity is facing. That's I would say, a hard fact if it is a reality today. And we do need to the human elements and buddhijivnis like you and us. We need to find answers to these things, because if we don't get to the crux of this problem, I don't know where the human element will go, and whether we will create either morons or we will return back to the animal world. First and foremost is that the very name of your organization, when you call it Alternate Mental Wellness Association, I have a slight quarrel with this word alternate. I don't know why. Is there an alternate? Or when you want to correct humanity, when you want to correct these problems, when you want to correct all these tensions and depressions and anxieties, is there any alternate? I have a question in my mind. And we are going to discuss basically these issues of tension, depression, mental problems, and such like. I would call them lifestyle diseases, because most of them are actually lifestyle diseases. And if the lifestyle changes, because it's all in the mind, if the mind changes, the lifestyle changes of an individual, of a young person today, we are the youngest country in the world. 60% of the population is between 25 and 30. And the recent figures show that we are going to be the most populated country in the world. We've already surpassed China. So we have to find problems to this lifestyle depression, lifestyle diseases, and how we are going to focus our mind. So what we could do is to avoid if not avoid, at least limit the malaise that is existing in society today. Well, I am here to contribute with my experiences and whatever I have learned in my 44 years of uniformed life. Let me put it this way, that life in the army, and such a long one at that, has been full of years of turmoil, wars-like situations, pitfalls between life and death, moments when one can say in Hindi, and I'll use Hindi terminology in between just to make my point. Okay, when they say "saans upar ka upar aur niche ka niche," well, there have been many more than many situations like that. So there have been tons of tension and moments of despair. Notwithstanding that the whole package of life in the army has been really great fun, with a lot of adventure, a lot of exposure, and tons of learning to be done. My focus in this discussion will be a little hatke, you can say, a little off the line, offbeat type. Far from what the Gurujis in the ashrams and these Babas sitting under Bodhi trees sit and profess, or they do pravachans and try to pass on words of wisdom. Notwithstanding that most of them are in jail today, for very nefarious activities and criminal conduct. So I would be a little offline. I may be a little hard hitting or a critical at times, but that will be only to convey my point home. So I'll start with my bottom line as I framed it in my mind. The whole thing starts from what is my aim in life. मेरा जीने का मकसद क्या है? What is the mudda? Why am I here with my 2 hands, legs, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 1 nose and a big mouth? Why am I here? What is my aim of living? Now, lot many people say कि सर कुछ रोशन करके दिखाना है, माँ बाप का नाम रोशन करना है, देश के लिए कुछ करके दिखाना है, कुछ बड़ा बनना है, एक बहुत कामयाब एंटरप्रेन्योर बनना है, एक कामयाब लेक्चरर बनना है, they have all sorts of things. एक बड़ा बिजनेसमैन बनना है, बहुत पैसा कमाना है. But I look at it a little differently. Can all these be achieved without being happy? If you are not happy, can you achieve all these things? बड़ा बनना है, माँ बाप की सेवा करना है, नाम रोशन करना है, देश के लिए कुछ करके दिखाना है, बड़ा Can you achieve all this without being happy? And therefore, if your aim is to happy, can it be without these particular things? आपको माँ बाप का नाम भी रोशन करना है, कुछ करके भी दिखाना है, देश के लिए भी कुछ करना है, बड़ा एंटरप्रेन्योर भी बनना है, कमाना भी, भाई तभी तो आप सब खुश रह पाओगे. So that's it. The basic aim of life is to be happy. And the whole discourse must focus on that as to how to be happy. Now, there are beautiful words I read somewhere of Sophia Loren. Sophia Loren had said, I think this beautiful actress passed away very recently. In her lifestyle, she mentions it to convey a point that this life itself is a paradox. It has its ups and downs, it has its good and bad, it has its sunny and shady sides. And what Sophia Loren had said, I'll just keep referring to my notes also. She said, when I get confidence, the stage was gone. When I was sure of losing, I won. When I needed people the most, they left me. When I learned to dry my tears, I found a shoulder to cry on. When I mastered the skill of hating, someone started loving me from the core of his heart. When waiting for light for hours, and when I fell asleep, the sun came out. Well, that is life. But no matter what you plan, you will never know what life itself has planned for you. Therefore, when one is looking at success in life, there will be good, there will be the bad, there will be the indifferent. It is a mix of positives and negatives. Life itself will be a paradox all through, right from your birth till death. और लेकिन सबको लेकर चलना है. After all, you have taken birth in this world, you will have to live. Therefore, you cannot you can only expect rightness. You cannot only do with the good, because something bad will also happen. तो सब कुछ को लेके चलना होता है. And therefore, success, I would put it, introduces you to the world. But failure will introduce the world to you. When you fail, the whole world will get introduced to you and you will learn out of failure. That is what we do in army. It's not that we succeed. We carry out attacks, we carry out operations, we fail. And our life is such, our profession is such, where you cannot afford to fail. There is no runner-up. Right. Either you have won or you're dead. You're not there at all. So we cannot afford to lose. Our planning, our everything, our whole administrative cover, our whole thought process has to be such, we must win. Otherwise, we don't go into that battle. Because if we do, we either win or we don't go into that battle. There is no second chance there is nobody. A dead soldier is not worth anything, even if he is not a victim. So the basic aim of life is always to be happy. And God smiles from above and he says, relax, my child. It's just a blind bend and it's not the end. When you think that there is an end coming, God will smile. Success will introduce you to the world, but failure will introduce the world to you. And often when we lose hope in life, I'm going to come to that thing, is when you lose hope, you get into a depression, you go into tension. Arey yaar, ye kyun? Why with me? Why me alone? मैंने क्या कसूर किया? मैंने तो ऐसा कसूर है, मैं तो रोज पूजा करता हूँ, right? But when you lose hope and think that the end has come, God will smile from top and say, son, don't worry, relax. It is just a bend and not the end. I'm reminded of a case study of a physiology in the brain. The physiology of the brain and mind. There is a field in the mind, it's called neuroplasticity. I'll repeat that word, neuroplasticity. And what does neuroplasticity say? The way you recapture things, repeatedly think. The more you repeatedly think of a thing, that affects the nature of your brain.
Right.
So anyone wanting to commit suicide, let us say, why? He has repeatedly brought a set of negative thoughts to his mind. So he is causing a repeated thought process. Oh, everything is lost, everything is gone, I am nothing, nobody cares for me, I am the hated person, nobody loves me. So that brings to the mind a state where there is no hope in life and it is better to die than to live. But why did the person reach that stage? We need to ask that question. That is a result of a Shakti called Chintan, or it is called a repeated contemplation. Because you are doing Chintan of that negative thought. It's a repeated contemplation of that thought. And which leads you to that drastic step of hanging yourself or doing something bad, or losing hope in life, committing suicide, getting into a depression, getting into low mood, stop eating, not sleeping, and not living a normal human being life. So how to prevent all this? What we have learned in the army.
Yeah, that's what I was about.
You were saying something, say?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was saying that was how I was about to ask, you must be facing a lot of these mental challenges in the armed forces also.
Yeah.
So what are those challenges and how do we, address them there?
You see, a terminally ill person. No, there are so many things. There are so many reversals. Life will always not be hunky-dory. It will be a mixed bag of pluses and minuses, goods and bad, shade and sun. So you cannot avoid them. So to be happy and be positive doesn't mean that nobody will pass away in the family, nobody will die, nobody will fall sick. To be happy means to accept the reality of life, what it is. Don't teach your brothers, sisters, and children how to escape this reality. Teach them how to see the good in that reality. It's a reality, whatever is there. Aaj khana bana nahi hua, chapati jal gayi. It's a reality. Now, if you teach the people in the family, कि भाई इसमें तो आप escape कर जाओ, कोई बात नहीं, we'll get the thing. No, escape is not the answer. You have to learn, and people must know that you have to rub shoulders with that, and we have to teach ourselves how to see the good, and you have to explain to that person that you have maybe 3 reasons to be unhappy, but you may be having 100 reasons to be happy. So why not see those 100 reasons why you are happy? Why only see those three things of unhappiness. I have nothing in life. God has given me nothing. You put. I'm reminded of an incident of a story where somebody was sitting on the railway bridge and was wanting to jump on the railway line, wanting to commit suicide. And a wise man came and he said, hey, what are you doing? And suddenly, this fellow was taken back in his track. And it is said that a person who's going to commit suicide, if he's interrupted in the sudden manner, he withdraws from that act. So he withdrew from the act of jumping in front of the railway engine. He said, what are you going to do? What are you up to? He said, oh, God has given me nothing. I have nothing. I have no money. I have nothing to eat. I have this thing, and I want to end my life. So this wise man told that potential suicide maker, he said, okay, I'll help you. I'll give you 20 lakhs of rupees, right? 20 lakhs of rupees, will that be happy? He said, yes. He said, but you'll have to do me one thing. You'll have to give me your two eyes. So he said, no, I can't give you my two eyes. How will I give you my two eyes? These are my only two eyes. He said, okay. So your eyes are worth 20 lakhs of rupees, isn't it? So, okay, we'll bargain for something less. Give me your two hands. We'll bargain. I'll give you 15 lakhs. He said, no, my hands I can't give. He said, okay, I'll bargain for your nose. I'll give you 10 lakhs for your nose. He said, no, I can't give. So he kept on bargaining for his limbs, different parts of his body. And when he touched a couple of crores, he said, so there you are. Why are you wanting to commit suicide? You saying you got nothing. You got bloody several crores in terms of these two eyes, one nose, 2 ears, and two hands, and your whole body.
Yes.
So, when you put the value on his body part, you remind of the blessings that God has given you, then we will see that we have millions of reasons to be happy.
Yes.
One has to we in the army always look at things which will make us happy. There are a lot of difficulties. The enemy has got better weapons, the weather is bad, there's total darkness, the moon has not come out, or if you planned for a moonlight attack, suddenly the clouds have come, or weather has gone bad. But then we still look at it from the positive side and try to make our men happy, the leaders happy, and the whole atmosphere happy. That is where another case study. You wanted to say something, Bolo?
No, please carry on, sir. I'll ask.
Yeah. There is another case study on trauma and motivation. And, when you talk of trauma and you wanted to motivate a person who's under trauma, just take him to a mortuary or take him to a Shamshan Ghat or, just take him to a trauma center and he'll get motivated because he'll find, here I am 80 years old, अरे यार अच्छा खासा खा रहा हूँ, पी रहा हूँ, जी रहा हूँ, सांस ले रहा हूँ, ये देखो जवान मर रहे हैं, जवान ये बेचारे मॉर्चुरी में लेटे हैं, जवान लोग ये ट्रॉमा सेंटर में आए हुए हैं, तो आपका मोटिवेशन ऑटोमेटिक हो जाएगा. तो ये जो cognitive level पे, there was one scientist, one human scientist by the name of Brentano. You were a psychology expert, so you may have read him. And you can search him on Google, Brentano. And what was his study? His study was on human consciousness. And what did he say? He said that human consciousness is the basic nature. Basic nature, and what is that basic nature of the mind? We see whatever we don't have. But whatever we have, we don't see that. That was Brentano's hypothesis. And consciousness of lacking something is the nature of human consciousness. So this is what leads. It is Brentano's theory which leads you. You only want to look at things which you don't have. अरे मेरे पास पैसा नहीं, मेरे पास गाड़ी नहीं, मेरे पास ये नहीं, बंगला नहीं, मेरे पास ये नहीं, मेरे पास लड़का नहीं, मेरा बेटा नहीं. There is another one in Hindi where somebody was traveling in the train and there was a Calcutta ka big Sethji traveling with him. He said, Sethji, आपने ये धोती और कुर्ता का तो रहे वाह क्या सिल्क का पहना. He said, हाँ देखिए मेरे पास सब कुछ है लेकिन मैं खुश नहीं हूँ. क्या खुश नहीं हूँ? तो he said कि क्या बात है सेठजी, आप तो बढ़िया देखिए आपका बैग, आपका सामान, आपका टिफिन कैरियर, ये तो सब आप बहुत माली आदमी लग रहे हो, आपका तो लगता है ये बैग में भी बहुत पैसे हैं. कहता मेरे बंगले हैं, इतना है, बॉम्बे में है, कलकत्ता में है, दिल्ली में भी शायद 2 नहीं तो 4 बंगले हैं शायद, गाड़ियां तो मैं गिनना ही भूल गया, ये वो इसे। फिर सेठ जी बात क्या है, प्रॉब्लम क्या है आपको, इतना सारा पैसा है, सब चीजें। कहता नहीं, भगवान ने मेरे को बेटा नहीं दिया। तब वो उस आदमी ने बोला मजाक के तौर पे कि अरे सेठ साहब, कुछ तो दूसरों के लिए छोड़ दीजिए प्लीज। तो हर एक आदमी चाहता है कि दुनिया का हर सारा सुख उसी को मिले, ऐसा तो होगा नहीं ना। तो आप उसी चीज को देखते हो। पेंटानो कहता है कि जो आपके पास नहीं है, ये सेठ जी वही चीज देख रहा था कि उसका बेटा नहीं है। अरे तेरे पास इतना सारा कुछ और है, तेरे हजारों नौकर तेरे पास काम करने वाले, उनको सबको बेटा समझ ले भाई। तो दैट इज हाउ वो कहते ना, एक शेर है कि दुनिया जिसे कहते हैं जादू का खिलौना है, जो मिल जाए सो मिट्टी है, जो ना मिल जाए वो सोना है। तो जो नहीं मिलता उसको लोग सोना मानते हैं, और जो नहीं मिलता उसको जो मिल जाए उसको मिट्टी मानते हैं, और जो नहीं मिल जाए उसको सोना मानते हैं। दुनिया जिसे कहते हैं जादू का खिलौना है, जो मिल गया वो मिट्टी है, और जो ना मिला वो सोना है। सो whatever you don't get, Mentano also says, whatever you don't get, it looks big in the mind. Yes. उसको बेटा नहीं मिला, या उसको उन्हें इतना बड़ा उसको लग रहा है कि यार ये मेरे सारे कुछ पोजेशंस जो है, सारे कुछ मेरी जो रिचनेस है, सारे मेरे कुछ जो खुशियां गॉड ने दी है, दे आर वेरी स्मॉल। बेटा नहीं दिया तो वो बड़ा लगता है, जो नहीं मिलता है आपको वो बड़ा लगता है। एंड दैट बड़ा वाला देन impinges on your mental nerves, it impinges on your thinking, it impinges on your action, it impinges on your attitude, it impinges on your whole existence. Then
yes. So I
Go
have
on.
a little question here, that like people from different backgrounds, different like speaking different languages, they're coming from different cultures, they join defense forces. So how does that orientation happen, assimilation happens, to transform that individual into a team player? What is that?
Yes, that's very much a part. Yes, I got your point. I got you. That's a very much part of our training. You see, we basically have the rural stock coming. The officers generally come from the urban families, but some are again from the rural stock. But even from the rural stock, there is a Jat, there is a Rajput, there is a Bengali, there is a Madrasi, there is a Tambi, there is a Gujarati. And some are rice eaters, some are atta eaters, some are conservative in their thinking, some are, they are very, very, some are poor, some are rich, some are landed, some are not landed. So what our training does is, first we bring their personality to zero. Whatever existing personality that fellow has got, he's a young chap. Mind you, we induct young people, young boys. Like in the officers' cadre, when a chap goes to National Defense Academy, he's just 15 years old. When we are taking a Jawan, now of course ये अग्निवीर वगैरह शुरू कर दिया बकवास. Otherwise, we used to take people at 17 years of age. So he's a moldable, pliable individual. His personality has not become solid pakod, as so to say. So we firstly break his personality by absolute physical, in a way, overdo. Make him run, make him crawl, make him. We just tire him out so much that his personality totally breaks down. Then we build up this individual in 3 manners. Physically, he's already fit. Mentally, and psychologically. So when a chap is, and psychologically also into spiritually. So we first bring the personality to zero, and then इकट्ठा बनाते हैं उनको. So जब उनको इकट्ठा बनाते हैं तो उसमें तो अलग अलग लोग हैं, as you're saying, from different backgrounds, from different. So all of them grow in a nice uniform kind of a tree which all the flowers blooming at the same time. So this is how we achieve unison, because when you are training them with one mind. When you're psychologically fortifying them, you're fortifying them with one mind. This is it. So over a period of time, and that is why I'm not in favor of this Agniveer scheme, because 4 years में बोलते ट्रेनिंग भी करेगा, छुट्टी भी करेगा, सर्विस भी करेगा, और 4 साल के बाद देखेंगे रखना है नहीं. No, it doesn't work. you make a soldier in 8 years. 8 years of real ragda he goes through, and then he becomes what we used to call in our time a trained soldier. Then he's the fellow who will say, "Chalo साहब, चलते हैं कारगिल चलते हैं. आप मेरे पीछे आओ साहब, मैं चलता हूँ आगे." You know, why does a man want to go and give his life on Kargil? उसको पता है, दिल मांगे मोर, उसको मालूम है कि he's not going to come back alive. He's already written a letter to his mother कि मैं वापस आया तो मैं झंडे में लिपट के आऊँ, झंडा फहरा के आऊँ, या तो झंडा फहरा के आऊंगा, नहीं तो वापस आया तो झंडे में लिपट के आऊंगा. उसको मालूम है, तो वो क्यों लड़ता है? लोगों को people need to ask this question. He doesn't fight because he's got the enemy in front of him. He doesn't fight कि सामने दुश्मन है. वो इसलिए लड़ता है क्योंकि वो जानता है कि मेरा देश, मेरा गांव, मेरे लोग मेरे पीछे हैं. इसलिए लड़ता है. उसको मालूम है कि मैं इज्जत का सवाल है, मेरे मान सम्मान का सवाल है, मेरे नाम नमक निशान का सवाल है, तो इसलिए लड़ता है. ये है मोटिवेशन फैक्टर.
That was my coming up question, sir. That army requires complete trust in leadership. A soldier is ready to live and die by the command of his officers. How does a leader command this kind of respect?
Yes. Selflessness. Somebody asked Hitler, when the Hitler's general, okay, when you say you will conquer the world for Hitler, what are you looking for in the officer cadre? They said, we are looking for professionalism and lack of ambition. When the guy has got the lack of ambition, he will fight for Hitler. When he's got that professionalism, he will want to conquer the world for Hitler. And there will be only one word: Hail Hitler, Hail Hitler, Hail Hitler. So when the officer is professionally sound and he is not selfish and he upholds the welfare, like I would quote you the Chetwood motto. When we pass out from the Indian Military Academy, there is a credo, there is a motto, there is a credo over which we walk path, and you must listen to this. It says, the honor, safety and security of my country comes first, foremost and every time. The safety, comfort and welfare of my men comes next. My own safety, comfort and welfare comes last, always and every time. Now that's the credo with which we pass out. We hold the country first, our men next, ourselves in the end. Okay, you might have aberrations, there are people, there are selfish, there are something, there are some wrong guys who come in the wrong way. You know, those are very, very exceptional. But by and large, this is the credo with which we serve, but to serve for so long. And that is, the men see this. ये साहब, इनके लिए country first. फिर उसके लिए मैं. मेरा साहब है. बोलता है मेरा साहब है ये. And then ये अपनी फिक्र नहीं करता है. देखो, रात भर खड़ा रहा, रात भर ये ठंडे में खड़ा रहा, इतने ठंडे पानी में खड़ा रहा. हमको उसने बोला तुम बाहर निकलो, मैं इधर ठहरूं, मैं ड्यूटी. And there are hundreds of examples like this in life. You know, I can go for hours talking. कितने बार ये life में महसूस किया ये बात के, and it works. This is what works. So that leadership thing is, you know, the motto of the infantry. Our people who the leg infantry which goes right ahead to capture objective. The motto itself is follow me. It is not कि तू चल मैं आया. It is follow me. I am going, you buggers, come on, let's go. You know, and if you are a good leader, the men will say, साहब नहीं, आप पीछे हो जाओ सब, मैं चलता हूँ आपके आगे. तो because जो भी आगे होगा भैया गोली तो उसको पहले लगी. तो it's a very heartwarming situation when the men say कि आप मेरे पीछे चलो, because they are saying so only because they know कि आप उनके आगे चलो. So that selflessness and that unison with the man, you play football with him. You know, anybody maros a langadi, anybody trips you and fall down, and then you laugh and he laughs. So that is the bonding. You don't say, "Sale, तूने मेरे को लगड़ी मारा गिराया तो कल को punishment देंगे तुमको." No, you laugh it out. You laugh it out on yourself. and he also knows, अरे साहब को मैंने गिरा दिया आज. But next day he'll tell you on the sideline somewhere in the parade, he will tell you, साहब कल गलती हो गया, साहब पैर लग गया आपसे. ठीक है राम सिंह, अरे ऐसे होता है यार खेल में, कोई बात नहीं, अगली बार मैं गिराऊंगा तेरे को. So that is the kind of bonhomie, you know, the camaraderie you build up in the army, and it builds up slowly, you know, from that personality which is practically bottom line zero. वहाँ से आप build up करते हो उसको, and then when you're with him for years and years and years, वो आपका अपना आदमी बन जाता है.
So sir, there's always
बोलो.
So there is always a mortal threat in army operation. So does one feel fear? And they like, you know, you have seen that your people or your team members, they are feeling fear, and how does one cope with that if somebody is feeling fear?
Look, I'll quote you Manik Shaw. Sam Manik Shaw, he was a great general. He was one of the first field marshals. Somebody asked him this question: General, don't you all feel afraid? So he said, look, fear is an inborn thing. It's an inborn human nature. And if you ask me that if I'm not afraid, then he says either I'm telling a lie or I'm a Gurkha. You know, because he belonged to the Gurkha regiment. So he wanted to sing songs for Gurkhas. A Gurkha is never afraid. The fact remains, your question, Shalini, that fear will always be there. And it will be in different measures.
Right.
You will find some people going cold in their feet. You will find somebody turning around and wanting to go back. You will find somebody hiding in the bushes कि भाई आगे ना जाना पड़े. But we teach the people how to get over it, how to conquer the fear, get over it. And that is by good leadership, by good motivation, by camaraderie, by creating in him the spirit of नाम, नमक and निशान. मेरा नाम, मेरे बाप का नाम, मेरे दादा का नाम, मेरे गांव का नाम, मेरे देश का नाम. Then the नमक, अरे इस पलटन का नमक खाया है मैंने, इस आर्मी का नमक खाया है, इस देश का नमक खाया है मैंने. And then of course the निशान. What I'm wearing on my cap is my निशान, my झंडा, my unit flag, my regimental flag, my national flag. That's my निशान. So the spirit of naam, namak and nishan is created him. That's why he goes and he overcomes that fear. He says, "Jo hota hai hone do." That is why he says, "Dil mange more." That's why he says, "Ya to main jhanda lehra ke aunga, nahi to jhande mein lipat ke aunga." These are words which don't come out. You know, they are not showmanship or one-upmanship. These are genuine feelings which get expressed by soldiers. चिंता मत करो साहब, फौजा जीत के आएंगे साहब, देख लेंगे साहब. तो हम उसको सिखाते हैं कि उसके लिए क्या होता है, बैटल इनोकुलेशन. वी पुट द गाय थ्रू द बुलेट्स, वी मेक हिम क्रॉल एंड फायर from top, from the side. We make him crawl this way and fire from this way, so the bullets will go over his head just a meter above. And when the bullet is flying, it will do that crack, 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 crack. It will give you that crackling sound. Ab lagi, ab lagi, ab lagi. And he goes down, crawls further and further, lower under the wire. So then we fire shells. उस शेल का धुआं आता है, उस शेल के स्प्लिंटर्स आते हैं. So he knows कि आर्टिलरी बॉम्बिंग होगा, तभी भी मैं नहीं मरूंगा. ऊपर से फायर आएगा, तभी भी नहीं मरूंगा. So we put him in this battle inoculation exercises to tell him, अरे गोली फायर हो रहा है तो क्या है, कुछ नहीं होगा तेरे को. आर्टिलरी का बम गिर रहा है तो साला राम सिंह तू चिंता मत कर, कुछ नहीं होगा तेरे को. So he gets that feeling over a period of time कि यार ये सब तो होता ही लड़ाई का हिस्सा है, कुछ नहीं होगा मेरे को, कुछ नहीं. लेकिन ठीक है, फिर भी मरते हैं लोग. There will be that one shell which will come and hit me on my head. There will be that bullet which got into my shoulder, you know. So during insurgency operations. So that one bullet, हर एक बुलेट पे किसी का नाम लिखा है, right? अब वो किसको लगेगी, that is the big question. लेकिन हम अपने जवानों को बोलते हैं कि तेरे नाम की कोई बुलेट ही नहीं बनी, चिंता मत कर. वो motivated.
So, sir, you have fought various wars for the country, for which whole nation is indebted to you. Now, I want to ask you one thing: what kind of effect war has on soldiers' mind? how important do you think it is important to treat the post-traumatic stress disorders with the soldiers?
Yes. No good soldier wants war. Only idiots wish for a war. Everybody wants that prior to war, either diplomacy or political vartalap or whatever, should happen so that war doesn't take place. And when war takes place, earlier on, we used to always have a theory that war will graduate. There will be war clouds. There'll be halla gulla. The enemy will say something. I'll say something. Then they'll say something. The media will say something. The media hype will start off. Then an odd petrol clash will take place, and then some clash on the border will take place, and then it will get into higher and higher and higher, and then you declare war. Today's scenario is not this. Today's scenario is war can break out while you and I are talking. It's a zero error syndrome. It's a zero time syndrome now. You don't know what the Pakistanis are planning or the Chinese are planning, and suddenly you will have a nuclear attack on Delhi. So who knew about the Bombay attack? Nobody knew. Those guys just came in the ship, and then that evening so many people died. So that's war. That's conflict. So today's conflict has become so with a technical touch. The informatics, the info war has started, the cyber war has started. The whole thing is now called hybrid war. There's the war going on at the political front, war going on an economic front, war going on a psychological front, war going on a counterinsurgency front, war going on behind the enemy lines, war going on the border, war going on in international forum. You're fighting with each other in the United Nations. So it's a combined kind of a thing which war is always on. तो इससे जो ट्रॉमा होता है वो उसको पता है जवान को कि ये होने वाला है, लेकिन उसकी ट्रेनिंग इतनी मस्त होती है, उसको वही नाम नमक निशान वाली पर लड़ाई लगेगा तो देखेंगे साहब. इनफैक्ट इट हैपेंड इन ऑपरेशन पराक्रम, आफ्टर they attacked our parliament. Remember when Musharraf came to Agra, and then those talks failed and he went back, and then after some time they took out our seat of democracy. The Indian government was very rash. Bloody attack karo yaar, inko bloody sort them out. And the whole Indian army mobilized. But then, having mobilized, somewhere somebody realized that war is a bloody foolish thing to do. And they went short in their tracks. But that thing did not trickle down to our men. And the men were sitting out in the desert. They were sitting out in the hot sun of Rajasthan, waiting कि कब order आएगा border cross करने के लिए. They were fanning themselves with the banyans, And they would say, साहब बहुत हो गया, हुक्म दिलाओ साहब, चलते पार करते बॉर्डर साहब, ठोकते सालों को, ठीक है. लेकिन those orders never came, and then the withdrawal to the cantonment started. 8 months the whole Indian army remained deployed. तो ट्रॉमा जो होता है उसका वॉर में भी होता है, और जब अगर लड़ाई हो गई तब तो ट्रॉमा और भी बढ़ गया. Because there will be casualties, there will be people who will get maimed, there will be people who will get disabled. किसी का हाथ कटेगा, किसी का आंख जाएगा, किसी का टांग कटेगा, उड़ जाएगी माइन फील्ड में. तो उसके लिए हमारे पास में अच्छे पैकेजेस होते हैं, उसके लिए अच्छे रिन्यूमरेशंस होते हैं, उसके लिए अच्छे रिहैबिलिटेशन प्रोग्राम्स होते हैं, और जो हताहत हो जाता है, शहीद हो जाता है, we take care of their families in terms of monetary assistance, which is now day by day. पहले monetary assistance कुछ नहीं थी हमारे टाइम में. Now it is running into crores, lakhs, several lakhs. In fact, that widow is that Veer Nari, I call her. We don't call our women widows because they are Veer Naris. She's a very vulnerable person because everybody knows ये तो सोने की मुर्गी है. People are wanting to marry her, people are wanting to cheat her, people are wanting to exploit her, people are wanting to take away all that money which she's got. The parents, the in-laws, झगड़े होते हैं उनके आपस में कि इसको क्यों मिलनी चाहिए. और आजकल जैसा हम लोग का कस्टमरी वो है गांव में कि अरे ये सारा इसकी वजह से हुआ है, यही बैड ओमन है हमारी फैमिली में, जब से ये आई हमारे घर में तब भी इसीलिए हमारा लड़का मारा गया, इसकी वजह से मारा गया। ऑल दिस टेक्स प्लेस, सो वी टेक केयर ऑफ हर एजुकेशन, we take care of our children. They are young, they are educated, there are armies, there are schools where these children of the Veer Shaheeds are educated. For उसी जो हमारे जो आर्मी वाइव्स वेलफेयर एसोसिएशन है, they are doing a great job in this kind of thing. तो जो ट्रॉमा है होता तो है, फियर जो है वो होता तो है, लेकिन उसकी ट्रेनिंग होती है टू ओवरकम दैट फियर, और ट्रॉमा को हम ओवरकम करते हैं, ट्रॉमा आ जाता है उस जवान में, तो वी ओवरकम दैट ट्रॉमा बाय यू नो ऑल by psychological approach to that person, by motivating that person, by financial and by settling rehabilitation. तो लोगों को पता है यार मैं मर गया तो मेरे पीछे वो देखेगा, वो देखने वाला, ठीक है. इनफैक्ट सम यूनिट्स टेक दिस एज अ वेरी बिग ओनस. द कमांडिंग ऑफिसर जिसके नीचे उसके 4 जवान या 6 जवान मर गए लड़ाई में, वो भाई साहब जिंदगी भर उन बच्चों को नहीं छोड़ते, उनको पढ़ाते हैं, दिखाते हैं, बड़ा करते हैं, उसकी वीर नारी को देखते हैं, उसको सेटल करते हैं, उसकी ओल्ड एज का ध्यान रखते हैं. कई जगह होता है, कई जगह नहीं होता है. सम गेट डिस्कार्डेड, सम गेट अननोन. गाँव चले कोई खबर नहीं है, पता नहीं, कोई उसके ऊपर व्हाट्सएप नहीं है, कैसे भी हो जाते हैं. सम लॉस्ट केसेस में टेक. तो हम हैप्पीनेस पे बात कर रहे थे, तो उसके लिए मेरे पास में 4 बड़े नुस्खे हैं जो हमने लाइफ में खुद एक्सपीरियंस किया. जब एम ही लाइफ का हैप्पी होना है तो कैसे किया जाए भाई इसको. पहली बात तो जो आपको मिला है ना, उसका भगवान को शुक्र अदा करो कि ये मुझे मिला. आज भी मैं 2 अगरबत्ती सुबह जलाता हूँ, 3 अगरबत्ती शाम को जलाता हूँ, या यूं कहें 3 सुबह जलाता हूँ, 2 शाम को जलाता हूँ. 3 क्या, एक तो अपने लिए कि भगवान तूने आज का दिन बड़ा, कल का दिन बड़ा अच्छा निकाल दिया भाई, आज का दिन भी देख लेना. एक घर वालों के लिए, या सब मेरे परिवार वाले जितने भी हैं इंक्लूडिंग यू, इनकी देखभाल रखना गॉड. और एक फॉर दी जनरल एनवायरनमेंट कि अगर कोई भूल चूक हो गई हो, कोई भी और हो जिसको कि मेरी दुआओं की जरूरत हो, तो भगवान आप देखभाल करें. शाम को 2 अगरबत्ती रोज जलाता हूँ. 2 अगरबत्ती क्या, एक तो कि भगवान आज का दिन बड़ा अच्छा निकाल दिया आपने, अब यार कल का भी देख लेना पड़ता है. और दूसरा वाला कि भाई परिवार और इन सबको आपने देखा, उसके लिए भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. तो यू हैव टू बी accept that mercy of God, the blessing of God. God बोलो, God also operates through people like you, my mother, my father, my sister, my brother, my neighbor. He also operates through, उसको भी एक ऑपरेटर चाहिए ना, तो he operates through those people. शुक्र अदा करना चाहिए ऊपर वाले का. कई बार मुंह से निकलता वाहेगुरु वाहेगुरु वाहेगुरु, क्या क्यों निकला मुंह से, बस यो फीलिंग कि भाई बैठे हुए अभी खाना खा लिया, वाहेगुरु वाहेगुरु, आपने दिया, खाना दिया, भगवान तृप्ति हो गई, तसल्ली हो गई, यू नो. तो एक तो वो चीज है कि भाई आपको शुक्र अदा, यू हैव टू शुक्र अदा करो टू योर नेबर, यू हैव टू शुक्र अदा करो टू योर चाइल्ड, यू हैव टू शुक्र अदा करो टू योर वाइफ, यू हैव टू शुक्र अदा करो टू योर पेरेंट्स. एक शुक्र अदा करने का एक जज्बा होना चाहिए. लोग शुक्र अदा नहीं करते. अरे इसने क्या किया, इधर फर्ज है साले का, ये ड्यूटी है उसने क्या निभाई अपनी, अरे पैसे मिलते हैं उसको, वो तो उसका काम है. नहीं, ये एटीट्यूड नहीं होना चाहिए. एटीट्यूड ऑफ शुक्र अदा करने का. और दूसरा है आपका सब्र. ये सब्र करना पड़ेगा भाई आपको. यू होप, यू विश, यू फाइंड, यू प्रे एंड इट डजंट कम. So you have to have that patience that one day that good will happen, even if you are not happy, even if you are unhappy, something is. मेरे को कैंसर हुआ, सर्जरी हुई, तो डॉक्टर ने बोल दिया 10.5 घंटे की सर्जरी होगी, बिग क्वेश्चन मार्क, वेरी डेंजरस सर्जरी. भाई हम कह नहीं सकते, लेकिन हाँ हम करेंगे, अपना बेस्ट करेंगे. तो तुझे यार भगवान ये तुझसे भाई सब्र करो, अरे सर्जरी खत्म तो होने दो, देखते हैं फिर ऊपर होंगे या नीचे होंगे. आप सब्र करो, हाँ सब्र करेंगे आपको सब्र का फल जो है जरूर मिलेगा. एंड देन अगर कि कोई चीज गड़बड़ हो जाती है, नहीं बनता है काम, नुकसान हो गया, लॉस हो गया, सेहत खराब हो गई, या जो आप सोच रहे थे, जिसके लिए आपने शुक्र भी किया, अगरबत्ती भी जलाई, सब्र भी किया और नहीं बना, फिर आपको बर्दाश्त करना। That requires tremendous amount of mental, moral, physical, psychological guts. I would use the guts of blood and bones to be able to bardasht karo that. ठीक है यार. I mean, don't give up, because if you give up, you'll end up in that suicide condition. If you give up, you'll end up in that unhappy. Today I consider myself to be a very happy man, very very happy. ठीक है, कुछ एक चीजें नहीं हुई लाइफ में, कुछ एक चीजें नहीं मिली, कुछ एक चीजें मेरे बच्चों को नहीं मिली, या जो मैं सोचता था या जो होना चाहिए था नॉर्मल में नहीं हुई भाई। किसी बच्चे की शादी नहीं हुई, तो कोई बड़ा घर नहीं बना, तो बड़ी गाड़ी नहीं आई, पर ठीक है, आई हैव अ हाउस, आई हैव अ गाड़ी, भले ही छोटी हो। तो आपको वो बर्दाश्त करने का जज्बा भी होना चाहिए। और अगर आप शुक्र कर दिया, सब्र भी कर दिया, बर्दाश्त भी कर लिया, फिर भी कुछ बड़ी लफड़ा हो रहा है यार, तो उसको गैर नजर करो, उसको नजरअंदाज करो, एंड पोज एंड थिंक एंड फील एंड बी हैप्पी के यार हुआ ही नहीं है, मार गोली यार, बल्ला मार। हमारी एक नेबर थी वहां पे जलंधर में, एंड सुषमा यूज्ड टू समटाइम्स क्रिब इन, मिसेस गुरबख्शानी ये नहीं हुआ, मिसेस गुरबख्शानी ये क्या हो रहा है, ये स्टेशन में देखिए सब्जी की गाड़ी नहीं आती है। अरे सुषमा, वो क्या है, तुम्हारे गार्डन में भिंडी हो रही है ना, गोभी हो रही है, बाकी बल्ला मार मतलब कि
मंत्रा।
आई एम पुटिंग इट वेरी इन अ वेरी रस्टिक मैनर। उसको नजरअंदाज करो, बल्ला मार, एंड डोंट क्रिप और फ्रेट और फ्राउन ओवर इट, because if you fret and frown over it, you'll end up on that bridge, to jump in front of an engine. So actual success in life, you may touch the skies. What I'm wanting to say is, while achieving success, you may touch the skies, but make sure that your feet remain on the ground, because the moment your feet will remain off the ground, you will fall. इमेजिन अगर पैर जमीन पे नहीं है तो फिर गिरना ही पड़ेगा, है ना। अच्छा,